Hello and welcome to Car and Bike. Meet the 2025 TVS Apache RTR 310. Now, what has changed? How much of an improvement does it get? And what are the prices you can get this at now? All that and how does it ride both on the track and on the street where most of you will be riding it or will intend to ride it if you plan to buy this motorcycle. We'll talk all about that, what has changed, if things have improved or things could have been better. But before that, please do consider liking the Car and Bike channel if you haven't yet. Hit that bell icon so that you get notified every time we ride a motorcycle like this. Tell you all about it, tell you all about the pros, all about the cons if there are any, so that you can make an informed buying decision. For now, let's take a closer look at the new TVS Apache RTR 310. So in terms of overall design, the RTR 310 hasn't changed much, but what you do get now is that transparent clutch cover, which you've already seen in the RR 310, and these new colors. This one is the Arsenal Black, and there's also another new color which is Fury Red. You get the Fury Yellow, which was available before, as well as the Sepang Blue, which was available before as well. So nothing has changed on the design front apart from that transparent clutch cover, but you get sequential turn indicators now, which was not available in the earlier RTR 310. What is new on the new Apache RTR 310 are these knuckle guards. So in terms of design, nothing has changed. Now this is primarily available in two variants. One is the base variant, where you will get your cruise control, you will get drag torque control, which essentially works with the slip and assist clutch to minimize the drag on the rear wheel when you're downshifting. Base variant, which is priced at roughly around 2,40,000 rupees, which is roughly about 10,000 actually less than the previous generation model. In that, you get a new feature called drag torque control, cruise control, rear liftoff, and you also get linear traction control, which is like no cornering function, straightforward traction control system. So all these four features are available on the base variant, which is priced at 2,40,000 rupees, which is actually less than the previous generation model. Then there's a top variant, which essentially adds a bi-directional quick shifter, which is priced at 2,57,000 rupees. So apart from these four features, drag torque control, cruise control, linear traction control, and rear wheel lift-off protection, you also get bi-directional quick shifter in the top variant, which will cost you 2,57,000 rupees. On the top variant, you can also opt for two build-to-order kits. BTO 1, build to order 1, and build to order 2. In BTO 1, you will get tire pressure monitoring system, a brass coated chain, and you will get adjustable suspension front and rear. That will set you back by 2,75,000 rupees ex showroom. And BTO 2, over and above this, what you'll also get is the complete package, the 6-axis driven cornering ABS, cornering traction control, you get keyless ignition, and all those things which you'll get launch control and wheelie control as well on BTO Kit 2. And with all those kit added, it eventually will cost you 2,84,000 rupees. So essentially, on the top with everything added, the price has gone up marginally, but on the base variant, the prices, and the mid, which is the top variant with the quick shifter, prices have gone down by 10,000, I think, which is very good value indeed. Now, I started the day with riding the RTR 310 on the road, on the street, and how much of it has changed. Let me tell you a bit about what all mechanical changes have been done to this motorcycle. Now, TVS has introduced something called a Smart Torque Filter. What it essentially does is it measures your throttle input, and according to the throttle input through the ride-by-wire system, it sends signals to the ECU and it automatically calibrates your ignition, it automatically calibrates your fueling. So how has that changed is that if the earlier RTR 310 had a snatchy sort of throttle response, which was a little jerky to some extent, this one has become really smooth and linear. So you won't feel the jerk while riding it on the street, and that's quite likable. In fact, that smart torque control actually makes you have linear torque curve at different throttle inputs. Sixth gear, you can sit at 3,500 RPM without the engine knocking at 50-55 kilometers per hour and open the throttle. Very smoothly you can pick up speed to upwards of 100 kilometers per hour. So no knocking even in sixth gear at 50-55 kilometers per hour. That's quite likable. And even otherwise, if you're going down the gear shift gearbox and you're riding in city speeds, third gear, open the throttle gently. There is no snapping edge which was present in the earlier version of this motorcycle. So that has been taken care of by what TVS calls the smart torque control or smart torque filter. Essentially, it helps the fueling, helps the ignition. So on the street, that's apparent because that's where most of you will be riding most of the time. And then in the latter part of the day, we're riding in this beautiful coast track here in Coimbatore. Of course, this is a street bike, but how does it handle? How does it perform in full performance? The road is not the place to really try handling and high-speed performance. So this is where we tried it. Earlier in the morning when I went out, the throttle response, what was the biggest change that I could make out from this? And apart from that, what has also been introduced is the drag torque control. So drag torque control is essentially, it helps the slipper clutch. So if you're aggressively downshifting before cornering on a track like this, it doesn't let the wheel skip. It doesn't let the torque surprise you. So it's still smooth. The power delivery is smooth. So even if you're riding on a track or riding aggressively, the drag torque control helps in a way that, the power delivery, the RPMs don't move up very suddenly if you're downshifting very aggressively. It maintains that equilibrium, so to speak. And together with the throttle response, the linear throttle response, this has become quite an improved motorcycle over the last generation RTR 310. When I went out to track in the morning, the suspension was set up in the stock setting and the feeler bolts of the pegs kept scraping, and that is not something which is quite enjoyable on a track when you're doing high-speed runs. Later on, I went out again with the preload. It moved up a bit and it completely transformed the motorcycle. I could lean more, and although this is not primarily a track bike, but this has very balanced, very predictable handling that will translate to how you ride it on the street as well. So how does it help you? You will feel more in control. Even if you're taking corners at relatively higher speeds on the street, this bike feels very well balanced, very much in control. Brakes are very good, and it's got a quick shifter which works like a charm. So no complaints there as well. Now, what has not changed is that the RR310, its full-fed sibling, last year got an update with a bigger airbox and bigger intake, and that got a slight power bump and torque bump as well. So the RR310 got a slight bump in performance overall. This doesn't get it, primarily because they would have had to change the cosmetics of the bike to put a bigger airbox, bigger intakes. So this bike, the updated RTR 310, power and torque does not change at all. There's been no increase in the power and torque, but what has increased is rideability, everyday rideability. Smoother throttle response, very good balance, all that is sorted now, and that snatchiness is gone. And overall refinement, if the last gen, the first gen RTR 310 was a lot vibey, it is still a single cylinder engine, so you will feel some buzz, but it's not as vibey, does not feel as vibey as the first generation model. So overall refinement and throttle calibration has definitely improved on the new RTR 310.
The 2025 TVS Apache RTR 310 is definitely an improved motorcycle which offers smoother throttle response and definitely has reduced vibrations from the engine. In terms of rideability, it has definitely become a much more improved version than before. But if you want the fully kitted out Apache RTR 310 with both the BTO kits, which will offer features like tire pressure monitoring system, fully adjustable suspension, and those lean sensitive electronics, then the price will inch up to over 3,03,000 rupees ex showroom. And at that price point, it is more expensive than the KTM 390 Duke, which has a bigger engine with more performance. But if you look at the base variant at 2,40,000 rupees of the TVS Apache RTR 310, it still offers very good value and is worth recommending.